Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
You know, I believe it was Wayne Messmer who wrote the book, The Voice of Victory, but that right there was the voice of victory because we won a baseball game today. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Son Ranto Show. I'm Danny Rocket. This is, I believe, our second COVID cast because I'll just right off the bat, I'll announce I'm playing hurt. I'm on the IL. I got the vid. But Crawley, I believe you broadcasted with vid back in November or something.
That was September. I had COVID.
September.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So
you can hear it in your voice there, Danny. You got a little crackly thing going.
No, that's the whiskey and the cigarettes. I started smoking again. I'm wasted. No, I'm kidding. It's just like it's a weird thing, this COVID. I mean, obviously it's killing millions of people, but the weird thing about it is if you get a case, and this has been a common thing that I've been hearing, is it comes in waves. So hopefully I can get through the show without a wave hitting me, and that's what we're hoping for. This show, the Son Ranto Show, is brought to you by our 112 Patreon supporters. So thank you for supporting the show. You guys rock. And as always, at least for now, we're still sending out the hashtag chance postcards. So please, if you're watching right now, hashtag chance in the chat, and you could win a postcard sent to you by me. I'm joined here by Cubes fanatic Michael Cotton, Mr. Crawley's Cubs himself. We have a jam-packed show. It's possible that Bleacher Jeff will be by in a little bit to defend himself from he's got a lot to defend himself. There was a lot happen on Cubs Twitter. Cubs Twitter imploded, and we're going to talk all about it at some point. In fact, we're going to start not with that. We're going to start with some good news. We'll get into some bad news. I'm going to text Jeff at some point to make sure. The last time I heard, he's like, I don't think I can come on because I'm too drunk. I'm like, dude, you got to defend yourself. I don't even care that you're drunk. You got to come on and defend your seat, just like you did on Twitter all weekend long, ad nauseum. But, well, let me ask, how are you guys? I've been talking for the last 2 minutes in a COVID delirious state.
I'm feeling good. I just came from playing a little bit of baseball. doing some pickup games on Sunday nights. The only problem is it's right before the show, and I have to like haul ass across town to get here. So
I had a fun weekend. I got to go to the Fergie ceremony, so that was a blast.
Dude, and I asked you to take a bunch of pictures because I was so disappointed not be able to go down, and you did. And I
wasn't able to get there either because, obviously when Danny went down with COVID, I didn't go to Chicago because my ass has not had COVID yet, and I'm trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, the whole weekend got messed up. The band was supposed to play on Saturday. That got canceled. I was supposed to hang out with Crawley and the whole Club 400 team. Everybody was down there. Everybody but me was there. And I'm just sitting in this room listening to Miguel Esparza practicing my Spanish while watching baseball games, which is great. But, it wasn't the weekend that I had planned or any of us had planned. Well, you guys had the same weekend, except for that I wasn't in it. Or Crawley did anyway. Michael did something totally different. But Crawley, why don't you show us some of these pictures that you got here? But before you do that, I do need to play your song.
Story time with Crawley, with Crawley, with Crawley. Story time with Crawley, it's Crawley story time.
All right, yeah, it was an absolute. It was cool. It was the weather. It looked like a little windy. Looked like it might get some rain in there. This is from inside the executive building right here. They had this awesome patch that all the players were wearing, and just a lot of people. All the dignitaries kind of came through there. Friends, family, Hall of Famers. CC Sabathia was there. A lot of people were there coming through there. This was a statue right here prior to the ceremony. And this is
wait, put that statue back up real quick, will you?
Yeah.
That statue, do you know what it's given me with the thing on it? And I always immediately think this. In National Lampoon's Vacation, when the grandma, when the aunt, whatever her name is.
Yeah, she's on the top of the car.
Yeah, that's what it was giving me the whole time, just cracking me up.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not a big fan of the idea of Statue Row, and then all of a sudden it happened, and I'm like, oh, this actually looks really good. They did a really good job. This was from inside the ceremony right there. People kind of starting to show up. Andre Dawson, Big Lee Smith, Kerry Wood in the house. For someone like me as a Cub fan in the 80s and 90s growing up, seeing Sandberg and Grace together was really awesome. That was fun to see. There's Jed with his head down for certain reasons, I'm sure. But then all of a sudden, Fergie comes up striding like the cowboy that he is with his 10-gallon hat on. Ready
Dude,
to
he looked like $1 million.
Yep, just straight up. Nothing says Canadian like that 10-gallon cowboy hat.
And so the trumpeteers start to kind of go. The ceremony starts. Pat Hughes does a wonderful job as always. You can see Billy Williams next to him, and Todd and Tom Ricketts also there in the picture. So Pat got it started. So more about Fergie, and then Tom Ricketts came up, said a few words. Billy Williams gave a great speech, and he's not much of a talker, Billy, but when he says something, it comes from the heart and it's deep, and he did a great job. So these are his kids right here getting ready to take the tarp off, and then you can see in this picture the tarp coming down, and that's the first time we got to see the statue.
It looks so good. I love it how because the blue, that muted blue with the bronze, and then like the red highlights on it, It looks so amazing and plus like the action and the detail, he's just right there with where he's going to wing the pitch. And I loved looking at they showed the video of when he went into the what's the name of the sculptor?
Lou Sella is
Lou Sella.
He's done the best. He's done all of these, and it was a great video. If you have the chance, if you have Marquee to watch it. It may be on the website, but
when he was back there and Fergie was actually in the room, and like Lou was and he was describing to him of what he would do and how his face would go, and like Lou got to really know who Fergie was, and like I feel like Fergie as a person is coming through in this.
Right, and this is statue. This is the picture that they used as the base was the 1971 Sports Illustrated cover that he was on. So that was really cool to kind of see that. And so this guy was $1 million. I got to get one of these guys at my party. The Canadian guy, the crier.
Yeah. Who is that town crier? All of a sudden he's like, "God save the Queen," and then he's like, "Hear ye," and I was like, "What the Christ kind of Canadian weird ass shit is this?"
Oh, it was great, dude. It was
oh
great.
my god!
The mayor was there. The mayor from Chatham was there, and this is the town crier of Chatham, and that's his job at like these gigs, and it was great. The guy's like screaming and yelling. I'm like, oh, I need one of these guys.
Drinking Tim Hortons coffee.
Look at this guy.
I know he's so weird. He's got the 3-corner hat, but like, why is it like? Why is the top of his stripper? Why is the top of his 3-corner hat like a stripper boa?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like he super glued a feather boa to the top of that thing.
Exactly, he looks like a town crier stripper.
So then Fergie comes up after it's been there. He gets the hugs from Billy, which was cool, and you could see how touched he was. He talked about his teammates. He talked about his mother, Dolores, who he is very close with, obviously. And then it was funny because the wind was blowing and he had this speech. He's trying to hold the speech down. And he made some funny comment. Look out, boys. The wind's blowing out to right and balls are going to be flying out of here. And sure as shit, I think it was like 10 or 11 home runs that day. Unfortunately for the Cubs, not enough. So good handshake right there. And then these are some close-ups I took as I was down there. So.
Yeah, I got to get down there and photograph that statue and everything in Statue Road. I mean, that was the one thing that I wanted to get down there, not just to be there for it, but what a great ceremony. The thing I thought was funny, Crawley, did you see this? I screenshotted a couple of things from the ceremony because they broadcast it. Did you see this girl there?
That's Lucella's daughter.
Dude, she's like dressed as like a cat.
Yeah.
They come from an art type?
Yeah, very artistic family, the whole family.
Yeah, apparently she's really artistic. She came dressed like a cat. So I wanted to give a few like kind of Fergie, I don't know, Fergie facts, I'll call them. Because I was sitting here in quarantine and I was like wanted to think about a couple things about Fergie. And first of all, what I did was I looked up his stats. And Michael, I did this for you. Here's Fergie's batting stats.
Yeah, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Fergie can hit.
It's not great. No, he's got an OPS plus of lifetime of 23. So it's not like
whatever. The dude 1971 he hit 243. That's nice. I like
for
that.
the cut. It's very good. But he had 13 career home runs, that's no slouch at all. A 165 batting average, which is a lot better than a lot of pitchers do. And the one thing that really stuck out to me was as I'm just looking up and down this list, in 1983, where I watched Fergie Jenkins pitch, or I don't know if I got to see him pitch that year, but I went to a bunch of games in 83. My dad brought me. I think this is the first year I got to go to Wrigley. It was 82 or 83. And he hit a triple. And that's even more. At age 40, Fergie Jenkins hit a triple. And Jeremy from the Wrigleyville Nation podcast wrote me, he goes, I went and talked to Fergie at the ceremony because I guess he was down there and he got to talk to Fergie for a moment. And he goes, it's so funny that stuck out to you too, because I asked him about the triple. When I went up to him, he was like, what was with that triple at age 40? And he goes, yeah, I was a pretty good hitter back then. You know how Fergie is. He's so matter of fact. Like, it's so funny. But so this batter, not a bad batter, but also look at this pitching stats. Lifetime 334. I mean, this is how you get in the Hall of Fame. 4,500 innings pitched in the major leagues.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
3,000.
How many innings did he pitch? He pitched 167 innings when he was 40. When he was 40, he pitched 167. And now like these 25-year-olds are pitching 167 for a season. And they're like the best starters.
Yeah. 325 innings in 1971 for the Cubs. 325. That's like 2 seasons for half these guys. So, and I looked up a bunch of other stuff. He gave up 4 homers in a game only 3 times. And the only reason I looked that up is because Kyle Hendricks did that on Fergie Jenkins Day. And Kyle's only done it twice, by the way. So it's not so bad. And then Fergie, did you know, because he played for the Phillies at first, he gave up his first homer to Ron Santo.
Yep.
As a Cub.
Wow.
Thought that was kind of interesting. And also,
I'll bet Ron Santo never let him forget it.
And
you know?
yeah, he didn't. And then the other thing I looked up is that I wanted to know more about that cocaine arrest when he got caught with cocaine and weed. And this, I thought this was great because I didn't know this. So he gets caught with cocaine and weed, thank God, in Canada, because they might have thrown the book at him in the United States. He got caught in Canada. But check this out. This is what the judge said to him. He goes, times do change. There's no need for rehabilitation and no involvement with a criminal offense. And Jenkins stood quietly looking at the judge as Young stated, you seem to be a person who has conducted himself in exemplary fashion in the community and in the country, building up an account. This is the time to draw on that account. And the charge had come with a maximum penalty, maximum of 6 months in jail and or $1,000 fine. I was like probably 6 years in the United States minimum. Yeah. So Jenkins said, I feel more relieved than I do after a ball game.
No shit.
He said, asked what Young fans about his arrest. He said, I think that this sport is something that youngsters look up to. I think that somewhere along the way, I was sort of blinded and a little tarnished. So I just thought that was interesting. And another thing I didn't know is this is a man that after his playing career went through some pretty unspeakable tragedies as well. He lost his wife in a car crash, and then his daughter was killed in a freaking murdered suicide situation. So, which I didn't know. There's a documentary about it. I don't really want to talk about it. It's too depressing. But
yeah, it's on Marquee, and it is a tough watch. I will tell you, I watched it, and it is. I don't know how he functions in his daily life, much less have. It's messed up, man.
Yeah, just to be able to continue on with life for however long, but like it's been decades. You know, like he's just and. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't know it if anybody, but I was gonna say, like, he's in a good mood. Like, he doesn't seem like somebody who's carrying something that horrible with it.
The amount of horrible in his life is unreal. It seems like he got an unfair shake in that department.
Yeah, incredible man. And let's transition to another incredible man who's had a horrible weekend because things started pretty good for the Cubs and then they went south real fast. Welcome to the show, the man of the moment, the guitar player for the Bleacher Bum Band. It's Bleacher Jeff. Hey,
oh, hey guys.
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? Where are you currently? Are you look like you're in a jail yard?
No, I'm currently on Lincoln and Bernice Avenues outside of Goldie's Pub. I made my friend to play some darts.
Nice. Well, so tell me about what happened. Let's just start here. What happened? What happened on Saturday? And I can recap it for the people who don't know. Everybody knows. Is you're in line early for your bleacher to get into the bleachers. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So you're in line. You're one of the first people in line for the bleachers.
True.
You go through they open the gates, you go through the turnstiles, but you have a slow security person at the bag check.
Yeah, it was like a PSA bag check. He was like looking for anything. He was like he thought it was like the shoe bomber or something. It was crazy. I'm surprised we didn't take off our shoes.
What would give him that impression, would you say?
I think he was a rookie. I think he was a first timer and he was going a little too hard on it.
And so somebody else, another line with a less diligent bag check person.
There's 3 lines going on when you get in the bleacher line. There's like 3 lines that happen once you start filtering to the front, you know. And so people kind of filter in that we're in the back of the line a little bit more in other lines, you know, and it gets kind of, you know, jumbled up in the front there.
Yeah. And so, but you're in the slow line. You draw the short end. Some guy ends up running to your seat specifically in order to, and now we should say, like, the bleachers, they're not assigned. It's not your seat. It is you can read it right on the Cubs website. The bleacher gate is a general admission, first come, first. But you usually sit in the regulars. You almost always sit in the same seat in the left field well. But this guy, with all the whole bleachers to choose from, decided that he wanted your seat because you're a socialist.
Well, that's not the full story.
Okay. All right. So fill in my
break it down for you. All right. It started 3 weeks earlier, okay? The last homestand, maybe 2 weeks earlier. The last homestand, I think. I don't remember the exact day. I think it was a Saturday again. And I had saved some seats for behind me for people in my group, that are always there. Our boy Brad, who is always there, and he was arriving a little late. He said maybe, first, second inning. He ended up showing up in the third or whatever. But this guy was like seething about it the whole time and was like, oh, like, why can't we sit there? Like, there's no one here. I'm like, dude, these people are coming. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're fine. Like, I don't know. We don't know you. Like, what's going on? So he was very mad about it. And like, it's one point I came up to him and I was like, dude, like, if you weren't such an a-hole about it, I would have let you sit there. Like, it's fine. Like, I would save seats to you myself, but you're just being a dickhole, dude. Like, F off. Like, get out of here. So I think he got mad about that.
Well, here's a question. I was kind of remembering an incident where there were people sitting behind me, and the guy was kind of being a little salty with me, and I was like, "Was that the guy? Oh man, yeah, that's the guy." Now, who is he with? Because I want to call him Poncho Man. Let me put up some pictures. Here's one that you took.
Yeah, his girlfriend didn't have a poncho, and Social Security gave her one like an hour and a half into the rain delay, like right before game time. So he literally made her sit there in the rain and just take it for a good hour and a half with like a fleece jacket on. It was ridiculous.
They look like Fergie before he got unveiled.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want their faces say I want to be a jerk about it, but I mean, like, I thought it was hilarious. And the best part is the guy didn't move the whole time. Like, he didn't move. He didn't go to the bathroom. He didn't get a beer. He didn't get any food. He didn't get any peanuts. He stood up when he thought Patrick Wisdom might throw him a ball, but then I was going to Dikembe Mutombo was asking me like, no, sir. No balls for you. No, thank you.
So he was mad from that previous game when you had kind of saved seats.
And like, I heard that he was talking about it in line beforehand even, and like was like pissed off. But to Father Wayne even, who's a freaking priest, so he's not lying to me. So that guy knows what he's talking about. Because like, he had ideas in his brain before he even got up there.
I mean, quite frankly, a priest's job is to lie to everybody. I mean, just put. I mean, they believe it's true, but we'll go into that later.
By the guy, I trust him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I got a couple of lines for. I want to write a ballad of Poncho Man song.
No, I think we should. I think it's a good thing, a good tale to make a song about. I'm into it.
I got a couple lines that I was jotting down. I'm like, he sat there in the rain for 7 hours straight. Just like a ballad of him, and then. And then the Cubs lost 7-6 because that guy was a dick. I got a couple lines. I'm going to build around it. I don't know. There's
got to be girlfriend got real sick.
Yeah. Well, it is impressive. Like, you kind of have to respect the hustle. The fact that he was willing to sit there for 7 hours.
No, like after the initial confrontation, when it was like he was clearly just being an asshole, and he was like, I'm like, all right, this guy's just like, he's not moving and whatever. He just wants to be like that. Okay. Then, like, I just laughed at him after that. Like, I cooled down. I walked around the stadium. I let everybody else, like, a train going by. I let everybody else, like, make fun of him and yell at him. Like, there's this one lady, Haley, who's a new season ticket holder in the top of the bleachers, who's like, yeah, I'm a first timer, but you know what I did? I introduced myself to everybody and said hello and, like, respected where everybody sits. And, like, now they save seats for me, too, if I'm late or something. Like, it's cool. Like, and that's how you do it. It's not about being a newcomer. It's about just having respect and not being a dick.
That's right. And that's the thing that there's plenty of seats, by the way, in that section. There's plenty of seats. Like, I've never.
Overall, we're talking about 50 seats out of 5,000, maybe tops 50 seats that are saved for regulars out of 5,000 seats. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
I'm saying, even if you want to sit in the left field's corner with us, that guy could have come down that first day and been like, hey, nice to meet you. You're the guy who caught that wisdom ball, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was before that, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But he could have come down and be cool and met everybody, and then exchange numbers. Hey, bro, could you save my seat? I know you're always here early. I'm running a little late today. I'm driving all the way from Iowa.
All it takes.
It's all it takes. And so he did it wrong. But it became very controversial on Twitter. So I just want to go through some of these.
For the record, too, I was being funny, making fun of him. I was laughing at him, and I thought this was hilarious. I wasn't trying to make some big statement or something. I just thought it was like a funny thing to tweet about.
Jeff, I know you, and so there's a couple things going on. I mean, I think that guy was being ridiculous, absolutely total dick about it. But on the other side of it, like, you did come off pretty, like, it was rough, and I was like, dude, I don't know how to even come into this.
Once they start coming after me, it's like, all right, let's do this. Let's talk about it.
Let's dance. Let's dance.
I'm here for it.
Well, let's go through some of them, and I want to kind of hear you guys take on it. And
sure.
But Full Count Tommy, this is from today. He goes, I know I'm really picking a lane here, but I think it's, and Full Count Tommy has been on this show. He's a friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
I know I'm really picking a lane here, but I think it's fine to point out that, yes, it is general admission, but also getting to a game early in the rain to take a regular's usual seat solely because you don't like his Twitter account makes you an asshole.
Yep,
so
you got it.
So I think that's correct. And then you got some supporters out there. Jimmy James said they will one day have a statue of Bleacher Jeff outside of Wrigley Field, and they do have some extra pedestals.
Some extra space, but I think it's gonna be Maddox and Sandberg. But
people are making knockoff. People are making knockoff obvious shirts. The first 5,000 bleacher ticket holders arriving at Wrigley today receive this fine replica T-shirt. Get out of Jeff's seats.
Do it. Yeah, Chicago River Barge has a good one. I like that one a lot.
But then there was, and I enjoyed this. There were some people that parodied your original tweet, which I'll put your original tweet up. Did I put that up yet? No. What you said was, you guys, a first-year season ticket holder from Iowa who comes to maybe 20 games a year deciding to want to steal my seats today on purpose, knowing I sit there every game. How do we punish them within the rules? And then I enjoyed, I got to find this one. Uncle Jeff, who's a good follow on Twitter. He was not a fan of you this time around. He was anti-Jeff. But, it was Jeff on Jeff Violets. But he goes, you guys, a new church member from Iowa who comes to maybe 20 church services a year decided he wanted to steal my seats in the pew today on purpose, knowing I sit there every Sunday. How do we punish him within the rules? So,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
So I thought that was kind of funny. And then also Jeff Linder, Matt Linder, he said, quick PSA to everyone visiting Wrigleyville from Iowa who comes here about 20 times or so a year. Bleacher Jeff's stool at Nisei Lounge is the one kind of towards the back of the bar where the bar juts out a little bit. I'm just saying. So we had some good shit.
That's a good one.
You had a few detractors. You had Santino Thomas saying, this dude is still bitching about his bleacher seat from yesterday. Guy is so cringe. And another guy just goes, no, Lindsay, a woman, goes, fucking nerd. And you said, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think enough sports fans get called nerds. Because, I mean, that's really what we're doing. We cosplay. We look at all the numbers. That's all we talk about. It's funny that we don't get called nerds very often.
Yeah, I took that as a compliment for sure.
Bring it back. And then we got this guy going. I love it. Hats to the left. Great. Another Twitter follower said this is more entertaining than the actual Cubs, and it has this like meme of Cheers, which I don't think I've ever seen. Which is I don't know. It's pretty funny. It's like more of a visual joke. Sorry for the podcast.
The point is it was from a famous episode of Cheers where somebody took Norm's seat at the bar. You know where Norm and Cliff sat. I
didn't know that. Okay, that makes more sense. So
Danny misses every pop culture reference, even the ones from the 80s.
I never liked Cheers. I watched Cosby's show and
that's
did something else. I don't know.
That's the next controversial Twitter argument is going to be Danny not liking Cheers.
Maybe we should have a Cheers podcast. So anyway, so basically you're the Norm of the situation, Jeff, and I would cast you in a Norm. Like if we did Cheers live, dude, you're definitely getting cast as Norm.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no, you'd be a good one. And then here's a guy that likes you. Drunk Theo, big fan. Bleacher Jeff is the hero we didn't know we needed. And Corey Furlong said, fuck that guy from Iowa. Don't send him back here. We don't want him. Corey is from Iowa. And then
Iowa, but that was just a good one.
You did get into it a bit with Emily Nyman, and she called you a weirdo, so that's weirdo behavior. And then you kind of went back and forth with her, said that you've tried to bully and shame this person on the internet, and that you don't think you're the arbiter of who is or isn't a decent person. LMAO. Your self-awareness is in the toilet, dude. You chose violence by posting this on Twitter like a brat. Very controversial.
Just making jokes. Okay.
But then she went and listened to us sing Fuck the Cardinals on YouTube, and she's a big fan of the Bleacher Bump Band now. So it all worked out in the end.
Yep.
So I want to ask Michael and Crawley, as long as we got Jeff on the show, like how you feel about, I mean, there was a lot of bullshit. Like I didn't bring on the real negative shit. I mean, just a little bit of it just to show that it existed. But, you know, what was your original take when you looked at all this and saw it?
You know, I just know how Cubs Twitter is, and all of a sudden I just knew this was going to be a lightning rod. I said, holy shit, I am staying the fuck away from this shit. I am not going near with a 20-foot pole. And here's the thing is that Cubs Twitter is like, gets like this when things are good. Like when you're in a bad season and you just choked away a game, it's just like gasoline on a fire. And I'm just going, oh my God. It's like, it just got way escalated. I was kind of like, what in the hell is going on here?
Well, Dominic writes in from Iowa. Apologies from Iowa to you, Jeff.
I don't know if Jeff's even in here anymore. He's kind of frozen down there. But yeah, you wanted to know what I was going to say, what I cared. I actually had to go in and create a new level on my cotton freak out meter. I'm at the Jonathan Moda level.
Right.
Who's Jonathan Moda?
Exactly. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. He's a fucking special assistant for the Cubs. I had to put a level that's so low. I don't fucking care. I saw it happening. I was just like, this is so fucking stupid. Just, I don't know. I can't get into arguments with people on Twitter like that. Like I said, you want to know where I was, and I was just like, I can't believe we have to talk about it.
Well, I'm sad that Jeff's not here, that I could tell it to his face, because he did write in the private chat, too drunk, gotta go, and that's why he froze. But he did okay for being as wasted as I know he is currently.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of reminded me of Crawley on the Burb. Hey, we're out here just doing our thing.
Weather's beautiful. Sun's out.
But I will say that, his thing about the Iowa. It was guys from Iowa, just like it had like a to it. And I was like, dude, you sound like an elitist prick. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you're there every day. You're in there. Like the other day, they didn't even put an usher in our section because they know that section polices itself with who's around in that section. It's not just Jeff. There's a lot of regulars that hang out there all together all the time. So they know it's not going to be a problem over there. And if anything's going to go on, it's going to be known and dealt with, maybe without an usher.
And I was going to say, and I'm sad Bleacher Jeff isn't here to hear me say this because, I'm a right field guy. Fucking left field sucks.
Dude, right. Everybody knows right field sucks.
No, left field sucks.
The thing that made me sad about
back and forth for the next
everybody,
hour.
Even Jarrett, our bass player for the Bleacher Bump Band, we instinctively knew as children to go to left field because we knew right field to suck. You just sit there with the sun in your eyes as it sets. It's a terrible seat.
No, it's so much more relaxed over there. Every time I've been in left field, and that's where the fucking college bro guys go and they sit. That's where your fucking cup snakes are. That's where it's just a different fucking feel. And all the best players are over in right field. You got Dawson when I was a kid. Sammy Sosa. You got Saya over there now. Like
I'll give you that. You had the right field guys doing,
and that. So when I grew up, I was over there with Dawson, and I'm telling you, I have sat in both. And I prefer the vibe over in right field much more.
Yeah, well, I could see that if you had a kid, maybe you'd want to go over there the thing is, you're closest in left field. You are closest to the field.
At that point, I don't think it matters. I mean, what are you seeing over there that we're not seeing in the right field?
No, I mean, you could see, it's a great unobstructed view at Wrigley Field, and it's a big party. You got the Cup Snakes going on. You got, usually balls flying up there all over the place. All the fielders, they love it. They're throwing kids balls. They're throwing the bullpen
You
comes
got
down.
the Cubs bullpen underneath there.
Yeah, the bullpen's down there. So it's a big party. But I will say this.
Everybody in the chat's losing their minds because I like right field.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Bernie's with you. Bernie's with you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go hang out with Bernie over in right field. We'll have ourselves a nice time.
We'll be just like ranter on ranter violence, just yelling right and left field sucks back and forth with each other. But
I was going to put up a graphic of that T-shirt because they used to have those left and right field bleacher T-shirts at Wrigley all the time, like left field socks and right field socks.
I got them. I got both of them.
Yeah.
I'm an equal opportunity. Your side sucks. So I would say
he fits in wherever he goes. He's like, we got to sit in right field today. Okay, let me.
I wear both shirts, field. And then depending on what I feel like, I put the other one underneath and just kind of wear the one. But I would say it all depends on what I'm feeling. I was actually in right field on the day of the Fergie ceremony for a little bit. I was there for like 3 or 4 innings with Bleacher Jerry and stuff. And so
Jerry's a right field guy.
Jerry's a very big right field guy. And what people. It's hard if you're not, like I said, we go to a lot of games at Wrigley all the time. And even for all the times I go to Wrigley and I go mostly in my grandstand seats. I do sometimes head over to the bleachers every now and then. But there is a subculture involved in the bleachers, and that if you're just not aware of it, it's kind of messed up. And so there's even like a bleacher face group, and it's like the bleacher banter and all this stuff. And it's just kind of, it's a different kind of animal that you're kind of dealing with there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what the guy didn't respect. And you could have been a part of it, but instead you decided to be separate from it and like sit down there, little poncho man in the rain. Like, dude, like you could have actually not gotten wet, been friends with us all, sat like one chair over and not even had your seat saved and not had to sit in the rain. You could have been down underneath drinking beer with everybody.
And that's the thing that really got me on this, because, like Danny, what you were saying, like on the face of it, that first tweet like seems bad.
No, he seemed like a stupid idiot. I mean, no, he seems so entitled. It's just like,
but when you see that he sat there for like 7 fucking hours in the rain and refused to move, then like that's when you realize the type of person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if it was just a dude that sat down there and had no fucking clue and was like, fuck you, I'm, like
down here.
I just sat down here.
Somebody should actually talk to like Homeland Security about a person with that kind of stick-to-itiveness about something so petty, because
it like I said, it's if that's your vibe, the bleachers are not really where you kind of would want to be, would be my opinion on that situation. If that's how much you get so upset over people saving seats. Like I've been there. I've literally, when we were at Club 400, hey, Crawley, go get some seats in the bleachers for us. We had about 40 people. I'm like, assholes, don't sit in the bar forever because I can't hold 40 seats for you. So there's me and one other guy trying to hold 40, but that's the bleachers. That's essentially, it can get like that. And if you're somebody that's going to be so uptight about that, not the place for you to go. That's all I'm saying. If you really want to have a seat, I guess, like I said, that's kind of why I'm in the grandstands.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break and play a quick commercial. We'll be right back. And then we're going to talk about this series, the games this week. And then after that, we're going to bring on Billy DeVore from the new Nasty Boys, and we're going to preview the Reds. So we'll be right back. If you're like most Americans, you buy shit. Lots of shit. Sometimes you buy shit for other people. Sometimes you buy shit for yourself. And sometimes you buy shit you have to buy just to stay alive. So why not buy shit through the Sunranto affiliate? Links at sunranto.com/shopping. We've got tons of shit you can buy. Go to sunranto.com, click on the shopping link, then click our ads and buy shit. We've got Amazon. They've got tons of shit. But you can also buy MLB shit, NBA shit, NFL shit, Fans Ed shit, Southwest Airlines shit, Fanatic shit, Reebok shit, Wine of the Month shit, Beer of the Month shit, Bear Mattress shit, Stubhub shit, Lid shit, Sports Memorabilia shit, Volcanica coffee shit, Vibrator shit, Condom shit, Bag shit, NHL shit, and Audible membership shit. There's a whole lot of shit that can help the Son Ranto Show stay on the air so we can keep talking shit. So buy shit today through sonranto.com/shopping. Thanks. Cubs Jesus thinks you're the shit. Welcome back to the Son Ranto Show. So let's, we didn't really recap the Pirates series, and I don't think we really have to that much, but it started out pretty damned well. I mean, it's the Pirates, so I'm not going to get too excited, but we beat them 9-0. They came out swinging. Then we beat them, 7-0? Was that the next one?
Yep.
9-0.
Yeah, well,
shoot them out. But to me, you score all those runs in the first inning, which was an 8-run first in game one. And then they scored 1 run the rest of the game. So it was a pitcher's duel, if you think about it. It was funny, Michael Cerami, because I pointed that out on Twitter. Michael Cerami from Bleacher Nation said, yeah, and other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? And I was like, well, yeah, I get that I'm saying that, but still, it's just like.
No, but it leads itself to a bigger problem that we've seen. And today's game was kind of a freak occurrence because the Cubs score a majority of their runs in the first 3 innings. After that,
they jump on top of a pitcher, and that's all they've got.
They don't add on. They don't come from behind. That's what made today's game so special. But it's you sit here and you're like, wow, you got to be able to score. It doesn't matter anytime. When you need runs, you need runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's just run through these Pirates games quick so we can actually get to the Arizona ones. But the big story from that one was Wilson Contreras with his 100th home run in the major leagues, all as a Cubby. It was a grand slam. It was a big deal. He was pretty emotional when he talked about it afterwards. Got the ball back, right?
Yeah, and he was in tears in the dugout too.
Yeah, and God, and it just kills me that we still have not.
Fucking frustrating that he's clearly not coming back because of this front office.
Yeah, and he's been in the press, and this is all a lot of grandstanding, but he's out there. He's still got an arbitration hearing coming up. I believe in June 6th or June 9th.
Biggest bullshit. Still like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, and 2 weeks away. And so he refused. I mean, he would like to talk about an extension, but the Cubs aren't there. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they go I had this weird vision. I'm like, what if they go to the arbitration hearing and they're like, surprise, Wilson, we're giving you everything you ever wanted. Here's $20 million a year for 7 years. We're locking your whole life up. Come be a Cub for life. And that's his arbitration surprise. Think it'll happen?
Yeah.
No.
The
thing
they're going to make him. They're going to make him pay for locker rent for the last 14 years.
Yeah, exactly. The thing I loved about Wilson too in this first Pirates series is him cheering on Christopher Morel, who came up along with Brandon Hughes as well, and they both came out with a huge splash. But that Morel home run, I was at this game on Tuesday night. The Cubs were already winning by a lot when this happened, and then Morel came up and hit that home run, and we went nuts, and Wilson went nuts.
There was so much to that game. It's hard to believe is that it was another big first inning, right? And then you had VR hit his first homer, and then former Cub Dan Vogelbach tripled, and then if you've seen Dan Vogelbach, you wonder, how did that man hit a triple? He looks like he's been in the 16-inch softball league batting cleanup for a good 20 years from Cicero. And he sits there and he just ran 3 bases, which is probably more than he's ran in the last 20 years. And then all of a sudden there's a fly ball to Suzuki and the guy sends him. And I'm like, holy Jesus.
Yeah, it took him all of fucking 2 minutes to decide that after that triple, he could actually run.
And so Suzuki throws him out. And there's nothing big. Like, I don't think there was like a huge collision. He
threw
was
him out by like 10 feet. It like wasn't even close.
And I think once he got off his feet, gravity just put him to the ground like a paperweight. And then just, Wilson kind of checked on him. Are you okay? Because the guy like flopped down. And then all of a sudden, Vogelbach swipes his mask, like knocks his mask out of the way. And Wilson starts jawing and the bench is clear. And so that happened. Then you had Brandon Hughes come out, and this kid strikes out 5 of the first 6 batters he's faced, which was something that was in the record books. And then you had Morel, and if you've seen Morel, he has that like Javi Baez, I love playing baseball, I got just a swaggy kind of vibe to him, just like totally awesome. He hits that home run. He doesn't touch first base. The first base coach is calling him back. But the kid's got a huge grin on his face, and it was absolutely a meaningless home run. But the way the crowd reacted,
beautiful bat flip.
Yeah, it was an 0-2 count. He fights back to 3-2, and you think on a 3-2 count, this guy hit it. I forget what it was, like 411 feet or something.
Yeah, he crushed it. It went way over our heads and to our right because I was sitting in the bleachers, and it was a no doubter. We knew it was coming past us, and then our friend Wally got the ball.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool to see. And then
did they bring him downstairs?
What's that?
Did they bring him downstairs?
Yeah, he got to go downstairs, and I haven't been in there. Like I would have been in there this weekend, but I freaking got COVID, and so I haven't been anywhere. But because I wanted to find out what Wally got, but I think he got a bunch of swag, everything he asked for, and I got to meet Christopher Morel and stuff. And he gave him the ball back.
In case you don't know, in any kind of, and I was actually the VR's 100th home run happened about like 3 rows to me in the right field bleachers. What ends up happening is somebody from Cubs Authentics comes and they bring you downstairs, and usually they would say, what do you want for that ball? And you can kind of negotiate a little bit. And usually people get pictures, signed bat, a signed ball, and get to meet the player. So that's kind of what usually happens.
Yeah. And so that's what Wally did. And he had already left. And so that ball he got from the concourse. So he had just left, and he was standing, I believe, out on the concourse. I might be telling this wrong. So he wasn't on the street yet because, so it went over the bleachers, and then he got it just on the other side there. So, but he's a bleacher regular. He's one of the guys that Jeff sits with every day. So a lot of excitement out there in the left field corner. What else happened in this series?
Well, you were happy. There was such a positive vibe because remember, they took 2 or 3 from San Diego. They took 2 or 3 from Arizona, and it's hard to sweep, but they took 2 or 3 from the Pirates. They lost. And I'm going to ask Marquis to stop pointing out if someone on the other team is from Chicago, because of course they do that. They show the parents, they hit a home run.
He did hit the game-winning home run that day.
Jack Sawinski.
It was, Marquis is a little too deep on it, but he was a Cubs fan when he was growing up. And it was like, it is a good story, but I'm a little torn on it because I'm kind of with you, Crawley. Like, it's a little much.
Yeah, like I said, it's cool to mention it, but to beat it to like a dead horse, a little much. Just okay. You can say, hey, Chris, Jack Skowinski from Barrington, wherever, blah 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 blah. Grew up a Cub fan one time. I don't need to hear it 20 times. That's
well, you remember what they did with Trevor Williams' dad?
With his dad, Richard Williams? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get hired by Marquis at some point.
Waiting for him to show up in the polo.
He gave them enough content. He should have gotten something for that.
Yeah. So disappointing to lose that game, but you lose 3-2 and you're like, well, that was a winnable game. Like, how do we manage to lose that one? And then, so you figure you got the D-bags coming to town and you're just going to keep on, that was just a blip in the radar. Nope. You're going to lose the next freaking 3 games. The bats didn't show up in game 1, like at all. And I'll put it up. Here's the game 1. Oh no, that's the pitching. That's the pitching again. Hold on a second. I got it mislabeled here. But yeah, the bats don't show up in game 1 at all. And I'm like, what the hell are we supposed to do with this situation when you have Marcus Stroman coming back? And he's been kind of a tough luck dude this year. If you look at his line, he was okay. He had 6 strikeouts in this game.
The thing that kills you is really the defense. The defense kills you, and there was just a lot of mistakes. And so Stroman gave up a home run to start, was it the 4th inning? He was looking great. 4th inning, he gives up a home run. But then what ended up happening is just all these mistakes kept happening, and he kept getting screwed, like just missing cutoff man, letting guys get from first to third. And it was just like, if anything, the game should have been 2-1, which is not to say you win the game, but you just can't keep making these horrible mistakes like not hitting cutoff man, letting guys get from first to third all the time on like pass balls, wild pitches. It's just, it's errors.
Throwing the ball in and missing a guy by like 40 feet to the right or left, which I have never really seen that in Major League Baseball. And this year with the Cubs, we're seeing it like all the time. I think
happened today.
Yeah. No, they're throwing the ball over the diamond, and people are taking extra bases left and right. And also just like you today, Crawley, you said when you tweeted out about Vargas being DFA'd and you're like, Vargas and his errors are DFA'd by the Cubs. And I go, now who's going to make the errors? And a lot of people had answers to that, and they were freaking right. Christopher Blad said, Cubs fans from Iowa, they certainly will make some errors. But yeah, they were playing. You saw that today where like VR knocked that ball down, and you got the guys in the booth being like, VR would tell you that he should have gotten that. I'm like, no, I will tell you too that he should have gotten that. And then there's no way that should be an out. But you elongate these innings. You got guys like Marcus Stroman out there getting 6 outs an inning, and then it
can't do it.
You can't do it.
We've talked about this before. You do not have top tier talent on the team. When you have the top tier talent, when you have the Bryce Harpers of the world, when you have the guy, Carlos Correas of the world, you can make a mistake and a guy can fix that real quick with the swing of the bat that you're comfortable that you have in any given inning. But when you don't have that, you have to play tight baseball, and they're not doing that. The amount of base running mistakes and defensive mistakes. And somebody actually told me today, like I put today, need a good start from Wade Miley, And somebody said, well, you also need good bullpen, good defense, and good situational hitting. I said, I don't trust that. I don't trust that to happen because I haven't seen it happen.
Yeah, it hasn't happened all year. And the bats didn't show up in this one, the first game. Only 4 hits in this one, 1 for 7 runners in scoring position, so they couldn't get the big hit. They left 15 on base as a team. It just was. And they were facing Zach Gallen, who they had beat before, but it wasn't in the cards this time.
This one in general doesn't make me all that upset because Gallen has just been great.
Yeah,
all season long, and I felt when we got the one in Arizona, you love to get those, steal those. You know what I mean?
In the one in Arizona, they really beat the bullpen. They didn't beat Zach Gallen. He gave up 1 run. I mean, I guess that was enough, but it was really on the bullpen there.
Well, and then game 2, I mean, this reminded me of, do you remember that? Didn't we face the Diamondbacks on the 100th anniversary game at Wrigley Field as well? And then they lost that game in front of like all the dignitaries.
Yeah, I was there. That was the worst.
I know it was the worst. And they were winning. It was like 3-1 or 4-2 or something like that.
It was one of the greatest games I've ever been to. They had all the legends on the field, the Chicago Bears legends, the Cubs legends. They had birds release doves. I mean, it's just like everything was great. And then they shit the bed in the 9th inning.
And they shit the bed. That's Cub, right? So, but yeah, game 2, here's your box score for the Cubs. They managed only 8 hits, but score the 6 runs. This is one where the ball was just flying out.
Yeah, this is the 11 home run game, I think.
Wisdom had 3 home runs this weekend.
Yeah, he had one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, he had a 3 home run weekend.
But here's the thing, and I don't want to sit there and second guess. And look, he's the guy. He's your pitcher. He's your opening day starter. But God Almighty, when I saw those flags, and I know Kyle Hendricks is up, this is a guy that gives up a lot of contact. It was just at what point, he gave up 7 earned runs?
7 earned runs, and he pitched 5. So somehow he managed to, they needed some kind of length out of him. So 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. 4 home runs. So that's really what killed you, was the long ball.
And what's his name? There was it their third baseman hit 3 he had no home runs coming into the game. He had 3 that day.
Yeah,
that was the game that
Josh. What was his name?
Yeah, Hendricks gave up a home, like the first time through. He gave up to Josh Peralta or something. but the same two guys that hit the first 2 home runs hit the next 2 home runs the next time we saw him. Yeah.
Josh Rojas.
Yeah, Josh
Yep.
Rojas.
Yeah. He now has 3 home runs
the next day and then couldn't play anymore, which you never wish injury on anybody, but it's like, ooh, boy, that looks bad.
So that was sad, but you also pointed out, I saw you tweet the umpire for this one, Ryan Aditon, was really bad. And here's the thing, if Kyle is going to have to come in, this is why you're giving up home runs, because this guy had a 91% consistency, 93% accuracy. So you're nearing like 10% of just being wrong, but his called strike accuracy, 85%.
Just awful.
Yeah, he could call a ball, 96.
And
the average is 97.
And Wilson Contreras got thrown out of the game. And he was literally livid. He drew where the ball was in there. He was pissed.
Yeah, you can't draw where the ball was. You can't draw.
He was already ejected, so he was getting his money's worth.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, that's not something you get fined for, right? Like you're not showing up a guy so bad. But that was like giving me Earl Weaver and the throwing the base kind of thing. But Kyle, if he's not going to get his borderline calls, and he threw strikes that were called balls, many of them. And so if you're not going to get that, you got to come over the plate. You're going to get hit hard. So that didn't help on a day when the wind's blowing out. So Ryan Aditon, I had never heard of you before, and now I will never forget your name because you're a horrible umpire.
Yep. And the Cubs had a lot of bad umpires this series. This crew sucked. Yeah. And I'm not going to be one to say blaming the umps for everything, but they cost them game 3 of this series.
Yeah, game 3, the home plate umpire. I'm putting it up now. Game 3. Guccione.
Yeah,
Chris Guccione.
Yep.
Alex Tosi, who I've also not heard of. Adam Beck and Ryan Aditon. Like, listen, Chris Guccione of all these guys is the only one I've heard of. So these might be some rooks.
All I'm telling you is they cost the Cubs that game, in my opinion.
So, yeah, I mean, we were winning, and then this was the rain delay. You've got all the bad vibes coming from the bleachers. Cubs go up by 4-0. They're winning almost the entire game. Arizona comes back and ties it just like they did today. And then in clown ball extras, they were able to get the big hits, and the Cubs came up short. 7-6 was the final. And I mean, and Wilson left this one with a bad hammy, which I don't know if you really. I think he's just being careful. So Bill Suggis writes in.
They need to keep his trade value up, so they don't want him to hurt himself. That's all they're really worried about.
No, he took himself out of this game. Yeah. I think he is keeping his money. I mean, he's going in the arbitration thing. He's in a contract year. He doesn't want it to get out there. He doesn't want to blow out his hamstring because then he's going to be done because he blows out his hamstring like once every 12, 13 months.
And yes,
which is also known as a year.
Where Vargas's error cost the Cubs big time.
Yeah, Bill Suggis writes, Vargas's error. And that got his SDFA. That was his last game, maybe as a Cub ever. I don't know. Is he going to pass through, or do you think they're going to keep him around?
Someone may kick the tires. I don't know. I don't know why you'd want him. I mean, the defense was just horrid while he was up here, and it's not like he was giving you all these. He would make, with VR, at least he gets you a hit every now or then. He's got some use. I don't know what use you'd have for Ildemaro Vargas.
Yeah. Except for having somebody on the team with a fun name.
I was going to say Des Moines needs players. That would be the only reason.
Exactly.
You got to have somebody in Des Moines. I mean.
That's fine as long as he stays in Des Moines and him and Pancho Guy can fight over seats in the bleachers. That's whatever happens in Iowa, that's fucking fine.
Pancho Man. So Schwisdom went back-to-back in this one. And then in today, it was the opposite. And it was Wisdell that went back-to-back and won the game. It was kind of a repeat of the game before, except for we came up on the right side of a 5-4 victory this time. I mean, it was score early, they tie it late.
Wasn't it the first come from behind victory?
I think it was. They said that on the broadcast. And so you score 3 runs, you're winning 3-0, you're winning 3-0. You're not doing anything up until they tie it. They go ahead, they're winning 4-3. And then you get the Schwisdell or the Wiz. What would it be? Yeah, Wisdell. you get the Wisdell back-to-backer this time, and it was enough to win. And then I got to point out that Keegan Thompson, after Miley went out there, did another nice job. Oh, we didn't even talk about Justin Steele. 9 strikeouts after having 10 strikeouts the time before. Like that's something that's kind of lost on that loss, because you forget about who lost the game. You know what I mean? Because he didn't lose. But yeah, today, when you look at the pitching, Miley did a nice job. Only 3 Ks this time, but 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings, gave you a little bit of length. I mean, he's pretty solid addition to this rotation at this point.
Yeah.
So, what else you got about this game? PJ Higgins came up. He's who replaced Vargas, and he's here as I guess back.
That was a huge
Wilson. He's replacing Wilson, I guess, right now.
That was a huge at bat, though, because the Cubs had the bases loaded and 0 outs. And then you had a strikeout and a pop-up or something. So now you're at 2 outs for Higgins. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, like great spot for his first AB. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just, if I keep thinking, if he doesn't get a hit there, not only did he get a hit, he cleared the damn bases with a triple. Okay, he doesn't do that. I mean, you let him off the hook. Who knows which way momentum goes?
He doesn't do that. The Cubs get swept this weekend, and we're sitting here, and instead of a 3-4 homestand, which sucks, you're looking at a 2-5 homestand, which sounds a lot worse.
Oh yeah. And it's hard to get swept in a 4-game series.
And I do want to talk about this maybe at some future date, but like the Cubs are bad at home, and we have to figure out what that's all about. It can't all be because Bleacher Jeff keeps getting his seat stolen. But
they're all distraught over Jeff's. Hey, where's Bleacher Jeff? We can't play.
We can't play like that. That's why. Well, Jeff totally thinks that the reason that they lost on Saturday was because of the whole seat situation. He's superstitious that way. But we finally won the game today. It was a long week to against 2 bad teams, where it feels like we had to like scratch out today's win hardcore against the not so great team. But we're going to take one more quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with Billy DeVore of the New Nasty Boys podcast. He's going to tell us all about what's going on with the Reds, who are about to face this week. So we'll be right back. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys 1 beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a super ranter today. Welcome back to the Sun Ranto Show, and welcome to the show, Billy DeVore of the New Nasty Boys.
Hey, hello. How are we?
Well, I've got COVID.
Yeah, you've got COVID. The Cubs lost to the Diamondbacks a few times. So that was kind of a loaded question, and I feel bad for even asking.
Well, it doesn't matter. they won today, so we don't care about the rest of it. We live in the day here. I think you probably know a little about that. You just have to live in the day.
That's right. I've been living in the past 2 weeks, and I forgot about that first month real fast.
Yeah, well, man, you guys,
it's not so bad.
Yeah, everyone wins 60, everyone loses 60. Isn't that how it goes? I mean,
but
there was no way you're going to
not do it in a row.
There was no way you're going to keep up those paces of losses.
So
no, but we could try.
6-4 in your last 10, though. You're making a move. I mean, do you think? I mean, that was such a horrible start that I don't know if you can get out of the basement of the. And I think that's the goal in Cincinnati, right? Like that's what you want is just like fourth place, just for bragging rights or something to put the Pirates back down there. Like what's the vibe in Cincinnati? I know that you're not drawing anybody. No fans are coming.
It's bad. I mean, a group of fans bought a billboard that said "Sell the team, Bob."
I want to do that.
We had somebody fly over Great American Ballpark with a banner on the back of a plane that said "Sell the team, Bob." It's like, where are you gonna go? Like what Phil said. That sentiment and that kind of attitude has leaked over into the entire season. So a lot of people have disconnected. They're just like, sell the team. Just sell the team. Just get out of here. And it's a bummer because like if you keep following, like there's a lot of young potential, and especially with these young pitchers that are coming up. Like Graham Ashcraft today is a great example of that. He's one of our top pitching prospects, and he had to go up against a killer lineup today in Toronto and did great for his MLB debut. I mean, like, it just sucks that the overarching storyline is always going to be sell the team, Bob, instead of the fact that they had, 2/3 of their starting 9 hurt and then have bounced back and continue to get players back and are chipping away at that god awful start.
Yeah.
So David Elliott asks in the chat, hey, Billy, tell us about throwing a no-hitter.
Yeah, I really wanted to know, because this is a question you don't get to ask anybody hardly ever. What's it like to see a no-hitter that your team loses?
Okay, so here's the situation for me. I went to the game at PNC the night before, and then that day we were like, we could go, and I was like, I just want to get home. It's whatever. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. Let's just go home. And I'm listening to it in the car, and Tommy Thrall the whole time. He's starting in the third. He's like, Hunter Green has been throwing a no hitter. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. And then he just keeps going and keeps saying it, and then acknowledges, oh, I guess I shouldn't be saying this. Yes, you shouldn't be saying this. That's the whole thing. That's bad juju. So I blame it on the fact that Tommy Thrall kept mentioning it, and then it happened, I guess, but not according to Elias Sports Bureau, but they were no hit and lost. So I blame that. But it was the most Reds thing to happen this year, honestly. That you have Hunter Green dealing, and what was interesting about that, and you lose. And what was interesting about that is Hunter Green, guy throws 119 miles an hour. You can take out 2 of your teeth if you look at that ball wrong. He threw his slider more than his fastball. And he's been doing that. That's the change he's made. He's thrown his slider 53% of the time, the fastball 47% of the time. So he is making you hunt that fastball, but he's still just hitting you with that slider. It's kind of like the adjustment that Kevin Gausman made. He got rid of his changeup and has just been doing fastball splitter. And hey, if it works, keep doing it. And then also the reason we lost that game was that David Bell didn't have someone ready. You got to get somebody in the bullpen because you've got a guy who's never thrown over 100 pitches before or gone that deep into a game at any level.
Do you know what? You know what it reminded me of was when Joe Madden was throwing Aroldis Chapman's arm off at the end of the Cubs World Series run.
It was Game 6 of the World Series.
Yeah, and that because there's another guy that throws so hard, and all of a sudden Chapman had to go out there and really pitch, and he had to rely on a lot of his secondary pitches as well, as opposed to because he couldn't just dial it up there at 100 miles an hour. It wasn't coming in that fast anymore because he had pitched every single day. So it kind of maybe that's the smart thing to do because we see this all the time with these young guys, and the Cincinnati seems to kind of specialize in these fireballers. But you see these young guys, they come up and they pitch for a while. Everybody goes, "Ooh, look at them!" and then they're out of the league. They're injured for 2 years. Tommy John, they come back. A starter becomes a closer. Then all of it just.
I think that's changed in the past couple of years, and I credit a lot of that to Derek Johnson and Kyle Bodie for when he was here with Driveline, and they set up that system to make sure that they could, increase velocity, but also still stay mechanically sound and be healthy. And after Kyle left, which totally get that, and after he left, those programs and all of the thought processes and it's institutionalized. So I don't think you're going to see that as much. I mean, with TJ Antone, absolutely sucks that he snapped his Tommy John, but this is his third one. So he's the fireballer that was most likely to have something happen to him again. But I just don't see that. And especially with Hunter Green's motion. I mean, it's clean. And he's not looking like he's putting a lot of stress out there. It's not like you're watching Tim Lincecum.
Terry E said, it's true. Joe treated Chapman like a rental car.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're feeling a little bit better about the team in Cincinnati, but people pretty much aren't showing up. We got 3 games, and I looked up the weather. It doesn't look great for this week.
It never does in Cincinnati, no offense, Billy. Every time it's always rain, I swear to God.
I take offense to that because I created the rain. It's all my fault.
But I'm looking at it here, 67 degrees, and they'll get tomorrow in on Monday. Tuesday's probably the best day, 77. But then it's going to rain on Wednesday and Thursday's the day game. These are at 5:40 Central Time, 6:40 Eastern, where the game's actually played. But thunderstorms Thursday. This is our first meeting of the year, which is kind of crazy to me that we have seen the Tampa Bay Rays, but we have not seen the Reds.
Well, we were supposed to open the season against the Reds this year, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why we haven't seen them. And lucky us, we get, I don't know, like a week and a half of the Reds at the end of the year.
Yeah, which is so bizarre that it's so. Have you noticed this with the schedule? Is just like the home away, immediate playing each other. Which I don't know if I like it or not because it doesn't give you time to be away. It does. Time makes the heart grow fonder. So it's just odd.
What I don't like is playing like we just played the Diamondbacks last weekend, and then we played them this weekend. Which that's what doesn't. Sense. Yeah, I don't like it because it's unbalanced because you catch teams at different times of their season, and then you have sometimes a totally different team depending on if they made moves,
right,
or if they have injuries, or
pitchers made adjustments. You don't get that kind of time, and hitters too. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, we had 3 at home or 4 at home against Pittsburgh, 3 at home against Pittsburgh, and then 4 at Pittsburgh. So 7 in a row. I'm like, this is silly.
Really? That is even weirder.
Yeah.
So in the first game, who are the Reds? You told me right before this just got announced because it was TBD for the longest time when I was putting this show together. But,
And then I called it. I was like, I think it's going to be Vlad Gutierrez. And then it came up right after I sent it. And it was. And we just moved him to the pen. You guys are going to have a fucking field day.
Yeah, no, we've kicked his butt before. Vlad, he's 0-5 with the 8.65 ERA. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Should be good weather. Hopefully we can get the game in. Smiley's going to go out there, who went 4.1 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits in that Pittsburgh loss because poor freaking Drew Smiley cannot catch a break. No. But the Reds, Votto sucks against him. Lefty on lefty violence. He's only 1 for 10. Moustakas does okay. Donovan Solano does okay.
He's been hurt all year. He won't be playing.
Aquino, is he playing?
Aquino, so the path of the Punisher was he was batting until today .70.
Nice.
070.
Almost nice. I'm sorry.
Almost nice. And he got DFA'd, which I was begging for weeks because he just looked completely lost. And then he hit the waiver wire. No one picked him up, sent him back to AAA, and then he was just hitting moonshots. And then went 2 for 4 today with 2 RBIs.
In where?
In Toronto.
Oh, in Toronto. Okay, because he did come up, and so he's back with the teams.
Yeah. So,
Well,
but I don't know if he'll play because we had 4 guys who couldn't play because they weren't vaxxed.
Right, and one of them was Albert Almora.
Did that surprise you guys?
Not really. I know it didn't surprise Crawley. Albert Almora is Crawley's Cubs nemesis,
and I don't think it was Almora specifically, but wasn't his wife out there on social media at one point going all anti-vax like last year sometime? I feel like it was his wife,
Crystal,
that we started talking about. Yeah.
Well,
Danny knows her personally.
If my father were on Insta, Aristides, if Aquino does manage to get, I guess he is vaxxed because he got to go to Toronto. But if he does make it back to Cincinnati, he does have 2 home runs in only 6 at bats against Drew Smiley, who's pitching that night. So maybe they'll bring him back just for those numbers. I don't know.
He is a Cubs killer. He is a Cubs killer.
Yep.
I remember when he made his debut against the Cubs, I said, where in the hell did they find Roberto Clemente? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was at that 3 home run game, I think 2 or 3 home run game against the Cubs in August of 2019. It was at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that game. Was doing that outside the Ivy show on NBC, and we were sitting there in the green room waiting to go on watching this game, and just like we're like, who is this guy? Everybody's looking him up, just like, damn it, like how are these dudes that aren't good against any other teams just Cub killers? Just an amazing thing. I'm sure you guys have that for the Reds, like some bozo that just manages to kill you. So
Ian Happ murders the Reds.
He does. I did notice this. Molly's going to game 2 for the Reds, and Ian Happ does not murder Molly, though. He is 2 for 20 against him. Jason Hayward, even worse, 2 for 24. 0.03 batting average, just awful. We don't do well against Molly, so I don't know what's up with this. Hayward does have a home run. Happ does have a home run, but wow, it's not a good look for the Cubs against Molly. So Stroh's going out in this one for the Cubs, and Tyler Naquin absolutely lights him up. 9 for 19 against him. You've got Kyle Farmer's got a home run. Max Schrock has a home run. And tell me if any of these guys are injured or not on the team, really. But
Schrock's out. He's got like a separated. His hammy's screwed, so he's going to be out until probably early July.
How about Tommy Pham? Because Crawley, I got your beat the street guy right here, and I know you don't like to take non-Cubs, but he's 5 for 6. Is that good? Is that good enough for you against Stroh?
Yeah, that may do it there.
If Pham starts, like, you might take him.
So this is against Stroman.
Yeah, this is against Stroman on Tuesday. 833 batting average, only 6 at bats, but he did take 2 walks as well. Does a walk count?
Maybe a walk does not count. That's not a hit. So I may double down Naquin and Pham.
Yeah, for sure. Take Naquin in his last 15. He's 17 for 54 with 11 ribs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 16 strikeouts. He's 315, 373, and 574. So go. He's been on fire.
Yeah. And then game 3. Oh, I want to ask you about this. That game's on a Tuesday. What is a 3-2-1 Tuesday that they're having?
It's literally to get anybody in. It is $3 Bud Lights, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups.
Jesus Christ. Take the whole family.
Yeah. I'm freaking...
And last Tuesday, they ran out of hot dogs by the 4th inning.
Holy shit.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Could you tell I was there?
Oh, my God.
I wasn't.
I'm kind of hoping that, I mean, look, we're in, 3rd place right now? Fighting, dancing around with the Pirates. You know, if things get worse for the Cubs, I bet you they will never do stuff like this. They will never do this for us. But maybe if we really stop showing up, which we won't.
Are you serious, dude? The bleachers can't even handle $12 beers without brawls and craziness. You're gonna fill those assholes up with $3 beers?
Yeah. What?
Jesus Christ. Oh,
just saying this is what I want. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. And then, so game 3 is going to be Hendo is going out there against Luis Castillo, who's 0-2 with a 450. Castillo gave up 2 runs on 7 hits and 6 innings pitched, though, last time he went out, so he did better. And here's the Cubs numbers versus him. This is where Hap starts to shine. 7 for 20, 350 batting average. We hit this guy great. So Castillo was, I think, in the conversation for Cy Young a couple of years ago, but not against the Cubs.
No.
Hayward hits him 8 for 24. You got Hap, I already mentioned. Contreras 7 for 15. Maybe he's your beat the streak guy, Crawley. I don't know. I'm
gonna make a future pick here. What did you say? Was Nequin? Let me mess around there. Go ahead, keep going.
So they hunt his changeup. They just see it so well, and Hap just gets underneath and elevates when it goes outside of the zone on him.
Yeah. So I like our chances in this one. Hendo, we already talked about his start, which he gave up all the home runs on Fergie Jenkins Day. But he also has a 5.75 ERA and 67 innings pitched at Great American Ballpark. Yeah. So take a look at what the Reds do against him. And Crawley, you might want to change your pick. Joey Votto might be the guy. 13 for 36 against him. Seen him the most. 52 plate appearances against Hendo. He has walked 15 times against Kyle Hendricks. That's pretty
Joey
amazing.
Votto for Kyle Hendricks. Gotcha. Locking him in, baby. Locking him in.
And definitely take the over. Whatever the over is.
That's all I'm saying. Take the over in this situation. I do not see this ending well for the Cubs. Or for either team, really. This might have position players pitching on both sides of the. It's just like 43 to 42. You got PJ Higgins on the mound at the end of this one. This is a total freaking garbage game. Luckily, it'll probably get rained out for both sides. And then game 4, Justin Steele, we already talked about, getting 9 strikeouts this weekend, had 10 strikeouts the time before. He's really coming through. Hunter Green, who we just talked about. But even though he's still 1-6, probably because of the offense, with a 5.49 ERA. So people are hitting him.
Well, that's because he had 2.2 innings pitched and gave up 9 runs to the Brewers. Look at that line.
Yeah, I see it right there. 2.2, 9 hits, 8 runs. He did strike out 7, but he gave up 5 home runs.
Well, he kept throwing the fastball. At that point, he was throwing it 56% of the time, and he was just throwing it right down the center. I mean, he was just throwing it right down Broadway, and he was getting smoked. And you can see that the pitch mix has changed, and that he's going to be pretty dominant the rest of the go, unless something terrible happens.
Yeah, yesterday, 1 run, 4 hits, 6 innings, and that's coming off a 118 pitch outing with the no-hitter, quote unquote, because you lost. And he only went 7.1 innings, so he didn't even finish it. And you got the loss in that one too. Just get your ass up, you get the loss. That's the worst.
The loss should go to Alejo Lopez, who was playing second and bobbled, and instead of going home like he should have, immediately he tried to turn 2. It was so frustrating, dude.
Yeah, they loused that game up. We've seen a lot of that in Chicago ourselves. Yes. I got to ask you about this. You got the Business Day Special, which is like a $20 ticket where they give you $10. And this is for the Cub fans. I know a lot of Cub fans live in Ohio, too, and in the area. A lot of big businesses around there, displaced Chicagoans. But you get you pay $20, which is basically a $10 ticket, and it's a good section of the ballpark, but they give you $10 in concessions on your ticket.
Yeah.
So pretty good deal.
Let me give you guys a pro tip, okay? That exists every home game. It's called the Fiber Optic Cincinnati Bell Lounge. So it's in left field by the left field foul pole. It's like $23 and you get or $29 and then you get a $13 concession voucher. And you have your own special section with like a killer beer selection, draft beer, and then like there's standing room where by that foul pole, and then there's a lounge above the bar that has like a bunch of seats, like outdoor patio furniture, cornhole, and all that stuff. So if the Reds are getting their dick kicked in, you can just go up there and play cornhole with your friends and buy $14 beers.
Sounds like fun.
It's great.
It's also on Thursday. It's Senior Day. And I don't know if you know this deal, but they call fans 50 and older. 50 and older may purchase. Dude, I'm like 2 years away from this shit. This is ridiculous. Like, do I even look like that guy? Like, look at him. He's all old. He looks like he's been in Florida all winter. So he does. But here's the deal. The fans get, and this is such a dick move, like, hey, we're giving you a deal. You may select non-premium tickets at half price in advance of game day only. So you got to pre-plan this. You got to buy it the day before at least. You can't just wait and go down. But offer excludes premium seats, Phi Optics District, like you were just mentioning, Kroger bleachers, view level, upper view level, and value view level subject to availability. So this sounds like a deal that you can't even get.
No.
I'm just saying. You're like,
but Billy,
there are 3 seats available.
You're old and you can't get it. Fuck you.
Like, you're not even that old. You're 50.
But tell me more about Thirsty Thursday, though.
Yeah, but then they also they're going to put away around these 3 seniors sitting in their little section. Then you got these bros hanging out. They're Thirsty Thursday guys, which this looks like this looks like trouble. This pack of fellas that I'm putting the picture up, like there's definitely crimes being committed and lawyers being called next day. And they'll probably get off because they look like the kinds of guys that get off for the crimes they commit. But
well, half of them are lawyers.
Exactly. Yeah, this looks like
the other half are clients.
This really looks like the douche brigade. Do you know any of these guys? Like, how did they get in the picture? Like, you're around.
Yeah. Hey, you look cool. You look like you would wear a Richardson trucker hat. Get on in here, bud.
Did you
know
any
the collared Nike polos?
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know any of those schmucks. They look like the opposite of who I would hang out with.
But this is an even better deal than the Phi Optics deal that you were talking about, which is that you get a lower level Reds ticket and concession credit towards your first drink on us. For all Thursday Reds home games, fans can purchase $30 packages that include a field box or a terrace line ticket and $10 in added value plus built into the barcode of the tickets. So they're doing anything they can. $20 box seat. I mean, Terry E writes in the average life expectancy in Ohio is 53, though. It's true.
Yeah.
They don't even live long enough to collect the Social Security.
No, they're just trying to get your kidneys to shut down before you can have all these deals kick in.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's your entire situation. I mean, there's your series. I mean, these pitchers haven't seen each other. I mean, we haven't seen any of these pitchers. What I'm saying, the hitters haven't seen the pitchers. The India has a homer off of Steele. That's all that happened really in that.
He's hurt.
The last time we talked about the Pirates series, I thought the Cubs were going to sweep. I think Michael said they were going to go 1-2. I thought Danny said 2 and run. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Danny, you were right on that. How about a temperature check?
How about what?
Temperature check.
Oh, I should play the drop.
Thank you, Michael.
Right.
Today we're going to talk about taking a rectal temperature. Do we have to take it rectally? Yes.
Let's take our temperature. I'm thinking a split.
Me too.
Boring ass split.
That's what's going to happen. Well, we're all boring this year. We're not trying, so let's just split it.
Yeah,
you take half, I get half.
I'm going to say a split, but each split is going to be ridiculously lopsided. Like each game, like it's going to be 10-0, and then they're going to lose, 9-1.
So not even good games to watch.
I hate this. I feel like I shouldn't say this. I think the Cubs are going to go 3-1. They're just, for whatever reason, they seem to play better away from Wrigley.
Okay.
So that's my call. Although it could go the absolute opposite way and be 1-3. I don't think it's going to be a split. But I'm gonna go with the Cubs 3-1. But I'm also very conscious that it could go the other way as well. But no split.
Okay.
I think it's a split. I mean, but the thing is you guys are going to beat up. You're going to beat up Tyler Mahle. His ERA at home is trash. I think Hunter's going to get you though. And Luis has started to get better, started to look better, and is building up better. So I think that's where we get you. But you're going to beat the shit out of Vladdy Gutierrez. That thing hangs.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
David Elliott says, all right, fine, a split, but only because Billy is cooler than Eric Wheelo.
Yeah, Eric, if you don't always watch the show, is our Brewers guy, and we haven't seen him for a while. He's he knows that he's got a target on his back because they're basically running away with the Central. I think that the ARP tour will probably stumble at the end of this race, but we'll see what happens.
One thing though, and it just drives you, it just tells you how much pitching and defense means. Go take a look at what Milwaukee's hitting. Take a look at their batting averages. I mean, I know that's not everything, but Jesus Christ, these guys, they don't hit much.
They don't hit, but they got that pitching. You don't need it.
That's what I'm telling you. If you have pitching, it's a big ass deal, man.
Yeah, but Devin Williams has been wildly inconsistent this year. So, man,
they might add to that pen, and hopefully not with anybody we give them, because I don't want to help them do anything. That's for sure.
The Cardinals are going to get up behind them and take it.
So, Billy, thanks for coming on. We will definitely, maybe we can talk at the end of this series on Thursday.
Yeah.
Pop, I don't know what you're doing. We haven't talked about it, but maybe we can do a little recap of this one on Thursday if you're available. But thanks for coming on. And I did want to point out to everybody, I know we're running totally late on the show just because we had all this extracurricular stuff with Bleacher Jeff and everything. But In the Clutch is your t-shirt company that you work for, and they've got a lot of great Cubs stuff. And you're the new Nasty Boys. You're also on the same podcast network as us, which is Sports Drink, and you have affiliates now through In the Clutch t-shirt company, and you got some Cubs stuff. Here's a Shy Feds t-shirt. I own this one, which you gave me, Billy, which is the Ian Happ waffles. If you remember the waffle iron that he used to have in the dugout, this one's on sale. I think it's only $20 right now. You have the Chicago American Giants, which was the Negro League baseball team that was one of the best teams pretty much ever in the history of baseball. You have a very cool shirt with their logo. And this is, I think, a really popular one for Cubs fans, which is the Cup Snake We Need More Cups shirt. I'm going to drop Son Ranto's affiliate link in the chat right now. It's intheclutch.com/Son Ranto. If you want to buy any of these shirts by using our affiliate link and also by using code Son Ranto, you can get 10% off of any of your purchases. So if very cool stuff, and check out their website because they've got all sorts of like baseball shirts that are baseball adjacent kind of shirts, and for many of the different teams. So if you know somebody that's a fan of another team, they got shirts for all sorts of different teams, and they're associated with the Major League Baseball Players Association. So
and we're associated we're licensed through the Negro League Museum.
Awesome.
So yeah, and a lot of the this is my passion project for our company. I just love it. And then reaching out to all of our fellow podcasters and being like, hey, here's an opportunity to push some cool stuff. And then also like, we take suggestions. Like we're like, hey, what do you want? And we'll do it. And we're very open. And I'm really excited moving forward with this. I think it's really cool. And one that we put up that's my brainchild is the new dead ball era. That's what it says on it. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like it's pretty sick.
And you missed it right before you popped in here. We were talking. They don't make left field sucks or right field sucks shirts anymore. So there's an opportunity right there because those used to be in the bleachers all the time and we don't see them anymore.
Yeah. And I know, Michael, you're working on something. I shot Billy an idea the other day. So, I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year working with you guys. And anyway, I just wanted to blow up your spot and let everybody know that they should check out your shirt company, and we'll keep promoting it and keep coming up with cool ideas. But we'll let you go, and we'll talk to you on Thursday, brother.
Cool. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, and can't wait for this series. It'll be a fun one.
Rock out,
Take
brother.
it easy.
So, few announcements. We got the Marcus Stroman event coming up.
Watching too much Latino TV, too much Cubs games in Spanish.
In Espanol. Marcus Stroman coming up on May 27th. There are no tickets available left, but if you want to buy a ticket, maybe you can still buy a ticket if you contact Crawley, and you can still maybe buy one, but they are off sale on
Crawley's
the site.
Cubs, and we'll make sure that if ranters want to get in, we'll get you in. It is benefiting 3 charities: HDMH, Height Doesn't Measure Heart, Lost Boys Inc., Levante, and Marcus and Club 400. So you get a swag bag that includes a Marcus Stroman baseball signed on the sweet spot. You get a high-def picture with Marcus Stroman, all you can eat, all you can drink. If Danny's clear, he'll be out here jamming with us. John Benedict will be playing. We got dueling pianos. Jim and Justin for the after party. We got a magician. I mean, everything you could possibly want. And I'll be leading the Q&A with Stroman. I will not be telling him about my beat the streak picks.
And then we also have I wanted to say that just a quick announcement that with the chance, if you put hashtag chance in the chat, you could win the chance postcard that I'm holding in my hand right now. But also, I need to get in contact with Nick G. Nick G, if you're watching or listening, you won last week, and we need to get in touch so I can give you what you deserve. And then Crawley, you have another announcement here.
Yeah. So first off, I've had a lot of fun doing the show. It's been an absolute blast. Opportunity came up, and I'm going to kind of take it and see where it leads me. But I've had a lot of fun doing this. I think the ranters are the best people, and I'm not dying or anything like that. I'm still going to be around, but this is going to be really the new. I'm going to be working with 670 The Score, Chicago's flagship station, an Odyssey original, a new podcast called Fly the W. And so we're going to have a lot of guests on. We're going to have players, alum, all sorts of different things. So we're going to drop our preview tomorrow, Monday. And then we're looking at the first episode dropping on Thursday. We'll be going 2 times a week. It's not visual, so you won't be able to see my beautiful mug, but it'll just be a regular old podcast. So, we're going to have The Score behind us. I'll be with Dustin Rhodes from the Mully and Hanley show. And hopefully, you guys will like it. It'll be a little different. I don't know if we're going to have chance for a chance or anything like that, but it's always good to hear some more Cubs talk and different Cubs views. But thank you, everybody. You guys are seriously the best.
Yeah, and it's not like a goodbye from Crawley. Like, Crawley's going to be on the show. I'm not going to let you not come on Son Ranto anymore. But yeah, but you're going to be a lot busier doing this show. And I know how it is with like doing the show, because I do another Cubs show with Sarah Sanchez. And so like tomorrow I'm going to be on that. And it's like, we'll repeat the same things kind of over and over again. You forget what you say where sometimes. And quite frankly, there are 8,000 Cubs podcasts out there right now. I just saw a new one, Cubs Style. You see that one? You got an old style logo. I think they're associated with Dom somehow, director of morale. So everybody's making moves, coming out and doing all sorts of things, and people are moving around. But this show, the Son Ranto Show, will remain a Cubs fan podcast, but where we will always have people from all the different places, whether they be players or fans or Bleacher Jeff or Crawley coming on, and we're gonna keep that going on too. So, but just as we got somebody in the chat. I know that he's been waiting for about 2 years for you. Here comes Lyle, the lovable loose ears, the beast of bourbon himself,
Lyle,
who's. Oh.
That was great.
I had to mute you. Like I wasn't used to those lungs. Lyle Aker, otherwise known as "Get Out of My Seat, Bitch."
Get out of my seat, bitch. Take a walk.
Lyle, I was just keeping it warm for you. I was just keeping it warm.
All right, I hope you wash your ass because I don't want no stank ass seat.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that your headphones are connected to your phone right now.
God damn it!
See, this is bringing all the ranters back to the old days of the podcast when we could never get Lyle. He's always in a car with the window open. He's like, "I'm out here. I'm at work." I'm just disappearing in the middle, putting out a literal fire in a kitchen sometimes. But see, are you there?
I am.
Oh, now he just muted.
Now he's muted.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, this
There
is
now.
right now.
We can kind of hear you, Lyle. How are you doing out there in the great Northeast?
I just Danny, can you do my introduction again? It's actually Dr. Lyle Aker.
Oh, I see. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really actually am having a lot of trouble hearing you, but I'm going to try to turn you up a little bit and see.
I'll be back.
Yeah, come out and come back in. Everybody wants to say it. A lot of people have told me over the years because like, wow, what's happening with Lyle? How's Lyle doing? And those that don't know, like Lyle was on this show for 8 years.
Yeah,
and we started the show together way before Michael Cotton came on. So it's like he's going to try to get his shit to work. But it's anyway, I've been talking to also Lyle because we've never been out of touch. Well, maybe a little bit for like a month here, a month there, or something, like not talking, but not for any bad reason. But we've been talking because he's got no time. He runs runs a restaurant out in Maine. He was running 2 restaurants in Chicago, got a restaurant out in Portland, Maine now. And it's working full time now. But, we were talking about like some way. Remember when, Crawley, you had Meatball Mike coming on? Yeah. Lyle is that same kind of degenerate that likes a little of the action. So we were talking about maybe trying to get him on, doing a few things here and there. Maybe for some of our Monday shows that we do when Monday is the off day, that Lyle would like to come back and rejoin us. And a lot of people asked me about Lyle, so I was like, all right, we'll have Lyle back on the show, but it didn't even work. So never mind. Never mind. It's not going to work. All my plans are ruined. Yeah, laid to waste. So maybe he comes back, maybe not, but let's TFC and maybe we get out of here. I'll go first. I enjoyed this very much. From Packhawk26 on Twitter. I'm honestly sick of people complaining about Zach Zaidman. We have the best broadcast team in baseball, and all of them love the Cubs and have fun together, making the broadcast a ton of fun. Can you all just stop complaining about shit for a single day? One single day, please? And then the weekend happened.
Not happening, guy.
Not happening. Sorry.
Speaking into the weekend, I told you guys one of my favorite follows is More Hat, Less Chat. And I said he has a Simpsons GIF or meme or something for everything. And he did not disappoint this weekend. When you see someone in your seats and you see an angry, dejected Ned Flanders.
Yeah, the one episode where he actually got mad.
Lyle, do we have you?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sounds
there's
good.
there's some
What's
noise.
going on?
But yeah, we're on the we're flexing cube right now. But I do before we get back into it. How are you? I know you have COVID too.
I have COVID. It's not pretty. It's fun. Here I am. I'm a doctor.
he diagnosed himself with COVID.
Also, Father Aker, so it's Doctor Father Aker. I'm not a parent. I mean,
You're like a padre.
Right. And it's Dr. Father Lyle Aker, HOF, Esquire. So I've been busy.
Oh, you're like you're kind of like Andre Dawson, licensed funeral director, rookie of the year, MVP. You got all sorts of acronyms behind you.
100%.
So, Michael, do you have a TFC?
I do, and it's been so long I don't even remember what it is. This is out on Reddit. Oh yeah, and I remember you're going to get a TFC from me when you just continue to carry water for this ownership group. They were talking about Wilson Contreras, and the guy says that's by choice. If they wanted to open the purse strings and improve the team via free agency, they could. They would rather than field a bad team and rake in the cash. And then, of course, Trogdor, the TFC. Cubs spent more on free agents this offseason than the rest of our division combined. Find another narrative.
Bro, we're in fourth, or
yeah,
third,
and then
I guess.
And then Blizzo says the rest of our division didn't dismantle their entire team last season either.
Yeah.
So
He also had to sign 20 players.
yeah, but the best one was right at the bottom. Off the dim jumps in. He's like, the Reds did. Which I thought was funny because that's who we're compared to now. It's the Cubs and the Reds now. That's our reality because this ownership group that spent more money than any team in the division. Thank you. It's Reds and Cubs.
It doesn't do you any good. And Lyle, I got to ask you,
the same material you've been using for 2 years. Here, tell me about the DH. Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. I'm sorry you missed that the original rant. You would have loved it, but actually, it wouldn't have happened because you might have actually reached through the camera and strangled Michael to death.
It's just boring baseball. If that's what you like.
I personally think it's why Crawley's going to another podcast is because of Michael Cotton and his stupid DH rants. He's wrecked the entire thing for everybody. But aren't the Red Sox going through kind of a similar thing? Like I know you're in an even tougher division. Everybody's in a tougher division than the NL Central, but the Red Sox are in a really tough division and they're not even trying.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's a friend of mine said, I'm on a group text with a bunch of Red Sox fans, said, it's time to just start watching your second favorite team. I was like, fuck off. It's the Cubs.
I know.
Yeah, already 10.5 games back, although 1-5 straight. So right now, and you got that extra spot in the playoffs. I mean, maybe you get something done. I don't know. 19-22, you're doing better than the Cubs.
He's frozen.
Oh, it's frozen. This is vintage Son Ranto show. This is vintage. We're bringing you way back.
Well,
this is like 2014 all over again, except with video. So who's got another TFC? Well, we see if he could get back in.
That's it. I just had the one.
Carl, you got one?
I did the Simpsons one.
Oh yeah. That's right. I've got just like one or two more. I enjoyed this one. Kobe Porter, sitting in the left field bleachers at Wrigley Field, tweeted out a picture of beautiful Wrigley Field as the sun set, and he wrote, "God bless Sloan Park." I don't understand. Got a good friend. This is a classic one. It was tweeted out from Marquee Network. The final 10-6 Arizona Diamondbacks, and Bart Harley Jarvis, or Bar Harjar, said, "Worthless fucking trash. organization of no talent, no skill, no heart, weak pussies. I'm like, that's a classic TFC right there.
Big rant.
I don't think that's on Marquis' social scene when they put the tweets up.
No,
that one's not making the air.
That's not making the cut on that one, huh?
Yeah. And then this is my final one, and this is from Mike Prasnowski, who TFG'd this guy and tagged me in it. And this guy's got one of the best jerseys I've ever seen. He went with a 00 and with the name Fucksgiven. Fuxgivin. This might be up there for Jersey of the Year, I believe. And so I guess there's.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So we lost Lyle somehow. Hopefully he's not dead like he was before, because remember, he's died on this show about 5 or 6 times.
Right. He's like a one of these Marvel characters that just keeps popping back up.
Yeah. No, it's not a problem. Well, Crawley, I know you'll be back on the show, but I know you're going to step back a little bit. But thank you for everything, and I know all the ranchers feel the same way. Because I mean, it's weird because I'm like, I told you, I'm not giving you a fucking watch, dude. Like, it's like you're just on the show, but you're just going to do this other thing, and like once you get that figured out, we're gonna, because we have everybody on the show. Is my point. Like everybody's always on the show. But Lyle's back. One more time. Lyle,
get used to it. Well been made.
Yeah, we heard in the chat that you need to upgrade from dial-up.
Jesus Christ.
They don't have it yet. So I figured we'll end the show there. That is Crawley, you get no gold watch. We'll see you. I'm going to keep inviting you. You'll come in because you're like, yeah, I'm bored. I'll go on the Sun Ranto show again. And then all of a sudden you'll be a host again, which is actually how Lyle ended up on the show anyway. He's like, I'll help Danny out a little bit. And then he did it for 8 years.
Crawley, thanks for keeping my seat warm. Fucking beat it.
Yeah. Exactly.
See you next time. I know you'll.
Yeah. Crawley's been sitting in the rain for like 3 years.
So there's the Sun Ranto show for tonight. We're gonna spagog out of here. Lyle, stop testing positive for COVID. I'll try to do the same. You guys keep not getting COVID. Thanks to Billy.
You got to hit that chance for a chance before we get out of here.
I
gotta try and keep you on track.
We finally somebody remember. I will never remember, because at the end of the show, I'm not looking at the notes anymore. I'm just like trying to get out of here. So chance for a chance.
This is your weekly reminder. It doesn't matter how many times you've put #chance. If you were the first person, this is completely random. We have no control over who wins.
No, none at all. I'm going to share the screen. #chance, capital C, in the chat, and you could win the postcard. So here we go. Artie Boucher. But he's won like 5 times. He's the luckiest motherfucker on earth. Jesus Christ. Well, Artie, I'm sending you another card. Congratulations. You are the champ.
At this point, you and Artie are just pen pals, right?
Yeah. I never get anything in the mail from him. Actually, that's not true. He sent me, what are those called? Those toys, Funko Pops. And I gave those away. All right. Well, I think No Fighting in the Bleachers is an appropriate song to play right now. So, spagog, everybody, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Spagog.
Spagog.
There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers! There's no fighting in the bleachers!
There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. There is no fighting in the bleachers. What did your mama teach you? There is no fighting in the bleachers. So take that shit outside. And acting like a punk and watch him hit and running, having lots of fun and show him all your love and self.
Put your phone away. My Ulysses up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Walk away, guys.
Put your phone away. You're on private property. You don't have permission to videotape anyone. You don't put it away. No, you don't. You put it away, or I
There's no fighting in the bleachers. There's no fighting in the bleachers. There's no fighting in the bleachers.